Welcome to the Cozy Little Library today with your Clean Reads Book Buddy. It's a gloomy day outside. I'm loving it.
Nice place you've got here Wednesday.
We like it. It's so nice and gloomy.
And I'm very thrilled to share with you favorite Christian fiction series from last year. Technically 3 series, but they're all interconnected. And they started with book number 1, which is A Noble Masquerade. So if you read this already or you heard about it and you're wanting to read it, there are 15 books total.
Holy hydrogen!
And they are interconnected, and I wanted to share the correct reading order to read them because I found out the wrong way. These books are full of faith, full of fun, adventure, humor, starting in the year 1800 and go through about 1827. You see those there. So let's get going. Okay, friends, I'm excited to talk about all of these Kristi and Hunter books. We'll call them the triple series. What started it all for me and what I think you should start with is the very first series, the Hawthorne House series. There are 7 books altogether. They are all right here. One of the books has 3 stories in one because they're short. Many of you are familiar with A Noble Masquerade. Either you've heard me go on and on and on about it.
I get it!
Or you've already read it yourself, which is great because even though there is a prequel to this book, I do suggest starting the Hawthorne House series with this book, book number 1, A Noble Masquerade. In this book, we meet 4 siblings in the entire series and throughout all 3 of the series, really. But Miranda is our main character and we get to meet her and she's hilarious. Her mom is all about being a lady, teaching Miranda to be a lady. And Miranda is not the easiest to teach that to. And this book starts out when Miranda is 8 in the prologue. There's a really short little part, but it really gives us some insight into what a stinker Miranda is. She's a wonderful person, but she just has that spark in there that is so hilarious. We get her inner thoughts and how she is introduced to this man in her life that's going to be really important to this story. This book is full of so much that I actually made up a new genre, which is Christian Regency rom-com mystery. That's what this book is. It is, if you've read it, you know what I'm talking about. Amazing. I love it so much. So in the Hawthorne House series, start with book number 1. We get to know Miranda and it's a great overview. Then you can move on to the prequel. You can read on your Kindle, an ebook. That's how I read it. The author ended up having a book that had the last 2 stories plus the prequel in it. So it can be a little confusing. That's why I'm sharing all of this. So if you look on Kindle for A Lady of Esteem, that is the prequel to the Hawthorne House series. So if you want the physical copy, the only way you can get it is in this book, which is where we meet Amelia, who becomes Miranda's best friend. Very short, very sweet. Then we can move on to book number 2, An Elegant Facade, which is about Miranda's sister. And you are so annoyed with her in this book. We find out why she's so annoying and we maybe fall in love with her a little bit more. Very sweet story, very engaging. Then we move on to book number 3, which is my favorite character in the entire series. Everyone, all 15 books. This is Miranda's youngest brother, Trent. And we read his story. He is hilarious. He really breaks the ice with everyone, always coming up with something positive but hilarious to say. So I really, really enjoyed Trent's story. That's An Uncommon Courtship. Then book number 4 is An Inconvenient Beauty, which is eldest brother Griffith. He is a duke. He's a very large man, a very large presence, but he's like a gentle giant. And his story and falling in love was unconventional and very surprising and so fun to read. Then after we read book number 1, we read the prequel in this one. We read Georgina's story, Trent's story, Griffith's story. So we've got all the siblings. Then we end with Always a Lady, which is a story about the Duke and Duchess of all of these siblings, and then The Lady's Maid, which is about some of the servants and a very unconventional way that they came together and work and all of that. So those are the 7 Hawthorne House series books. So wonderful. Highly recommend. The second series that I suggest that you read is the Haven Manor series. Now, I only have these 3 books. There are actually 5 altogether. A Defense of Honor. This book was also so surprising. Again, it's connected to family members show up in some of these books in this series, but leave it to Kristi and Hunter to address a serious issue that was going on in the Regency era with such humor, grace. There's so much tenderness and faith in this series, and especially just in this first book. Wow. So chapter 1, I'm hooked immediately because there's something very funny that happens right at the start. This girl, our main character, she is in a ballroom, and we don't really know we just think it's one of those Regency era stories. You know, they're in the ballroom, there's conversation, but it's so unexpected and it's so funny. She's actually sneaking around. She's there for a purpose, and she does some really funny stuff hiding behind plants, and then it describes her hand kind of reaching out from behind the plants trying to get some snacks off of the food tray that the servants have going around. So funny. And then the fella that kind of spots her and the interaction with him, you will just laugh. And then immediately we realize, after we're laughing at that, we see the serious situation that she's also a part of. I just couldn't quit reading it. Just like all of these, this book especially is so well written. I love it so much. The tie-in to the rest of the Hawthorne House series just put the icing on the cake. After you read the Hawthorne House series, you want to read books 1 through 5 in Haven Manor series. And last but not least, we have Hearts on the Heath series. There are 3 books in this series. Vying for the Viscount is the very first one. And if you love horses, you don't have to enjoy this series, but if you love horses, you are going to adore this series, especially book number 1, because it's so much fun and it revolves around the stables, and you have some of these characters showing up in this series. So Vying for the Viscount, the very first one, is about Hudson, who he's from England, his family is, but he has grown up in India, and his family's kept him there to keep him safe from this crazy uncle that he has that wants to take over the estate that has these winning race horses. Everything's all about the horses. And then we find the very first scene is hilarious, just like all of Kristi and Hunter's books. She just is an expert of adding the perfect amount of humor, very unexpected humor, into even the most serious situations. And I just love it. The very first time that our 2 main characters, the male and female, meet, it is so funny. It's in the stable, and Hudson comes from India to take over this estate. Bianca has an estate next door. Her family has an estate next door, and she's been allowed up to this point to come and ride the horses because she's a horse girl, and they meet in a very hilarious way. And the rest of the book is just so fun. There is some excitement, there's some adventure, especially near the end. And then books 2 and 3, you meet some side characters from this book, and it's all so much fun. I highly, highly, highly recommend all 15 of these books by Kristi and Hunter. If you want a world to immerse yourself in, to dive in with these fun characters and all of these fun going-ons in the Regency era-ish world, then jump in. I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions about any of these books or the series, please put your questions below in the comments, and until next time.